with Michael Recca. Reccia. I speak Italian. Is it Reccia?
Reccia.
Recce.
Yeah.
Okay, Recce, which would be an E in Italian. Anyway, I did it better last time you were on. So we're very lucky that Michael's back on. He was on Conscious Business Zone about a year ago, and boy, have times changed.
Yeah.
And if you didn't get to see him before, I hope that you will take a little bit of your time now that you have less, maybe, well, probably as many distractions as ever, but hopefully you will take some time and learn about what Michael's been doing. Michael is a trance medium, which means that he's able to go into a trance and bring in a very high multi-dimensional group of beings that is called Joseph. And the Joseph Chronicles, the Joseph books, there's 8 books that all told about, well, quite a few of them told about this time right now. So Michael's a huge resource, and his group in England is called the Band of Light, which we'll talk about that too. But so, Michael, how does it feel now that I mean, when you're in trance, you go to such a high level, it actually takes you days to get better or get grounded. Is that still true now?
Well, with the last book, with the spaces between, going into trance regularly became too dangerous for me. In fact, we pushed the envelope with the last book. We only intended to do 7. And as time went on, it became more and more difficult for me to recover fully from the trance sessions.
Oh, wow.
It would take a week on each occasion, and I'd lose a week of my life. And it became apparent after we broke through the last book that all the information that was needed to change things here had already been brought through in those 8 books.
Okay.
So my role changed to one of increasingly promoting the 8 books and the information globally, and rallying people together to do what Joseph suggested we should do in order to make a difference in these troubled times.
Perfect. It's so perfect. I'm so glad that Noelle and Bob introduced me to your work and to the frequency of it, because I'm so sensitive. I actually feel the books as much as, I mean, in some cases you could just put it under your pillow and get a lot of it. So what I'd love to do, because I want to invite some people in, is ask you to talk some more about how this has been a blessing, because I think that people right now don't realize what's happening is a blessing. And you're a huge resource. I just thank you so much for everything you've done. You've been doing this for 35 years, and the work is just magnificent, you guys. If you haven't seen it, well, I'll put up the website. But could you talk a little bit about that, about how you see this right now, and to invite people? Okay.
One of the sort of underlying things that went through all the books was the fact that unless we change, now this was 15 years ago, bringing through, unless we change, we have difficult times ahead. And unless we change the field of human consciousness, the field of energy that we donate ourselves or thoughts to on a daily basis is running out of energy. Now, Joseph originally said that we have 70 to 80 years left unless we change things, unless we approach this life in a different way. But we have accelerated the process. So what we're seeing at the moment with the virus, with other challenges around the world, are symptoms of what is wrong. And what is wrong is that we do not acknowledge and embrace and work with our spirituality. And we are spirit beings, that's what we really are. And so we have to come from that point of view in order to put the world right and in order to dissipate and transform the challenges that we find ourselves in.
So what you're saying is that this time is a gift, but I think it's more than that. This is in your very first book, you talk about the sleepers.
Yeah.
And this is what's in my view is everything's alive. We haven't realized that we haven't really claimed our incredible power that we have as light beings. And what's happening right now is a chance for everyone to question the societal paradigm that has been constructed that does not support a high level of co-creating with the universe. And what you're doing is reading. You've started a Band of Light World Meditation Days, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But you've been saying this all along, and how do you see it now with the sleepers?
It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity because most of us are locked into our homes for most of the day. It's an opportunity for us to pause and to consider the greater question. Many of us, from birth to physical death, don't question who we are, why we're here, what life is really about, what we're capable of, where we came from, where we're going to. And now we are presented with those questions writ large because we have lots of time to consider them.
Right.
We have to, in order to change things, if we are ever to change things, we can't change things here from a material point of view.
Right.
We have worshipped material. We worship the car, we worship the holiday, we worship the clothes, we worship the lifestyle, and they have taken the place in our minds of the divinity that we have within us. Now, I'm not saying we should worship the divinity. What I'm saying is we should practice connecting to that divinity in order to awaken ourselves and remember who we are, what we're capable of, and how we should be living here, how we should be treating each other, how we should be treating the animal kingdom, how we should be treating the planet. And that love and light are the important energies in this world, and not the material constructs that we put around us that have plundered the earth to the extent that it is dying.
Right.
We need to recharge things, recharge ourselves, re-energize the planet, and stop destroying each other and our resources here.
Right, right. And the other aspect that is really important for people to realize is that Joseph said that all humans are angels.
Yes.
And that, could you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, it's a vast subject. Joseph explains that the fall that we hear so much about and read so much about in biblical terms was not actually a biblical event. It was an event in which we, as angels, as angelic children, actually tampered with, altered the way in which creation takes place here. We were advised not to. And we said, well, we're doing this for the glory of the divine. We're going to go ahead and do it anyway. By altering the way that creation works here, by speeding up matter, we encased ourselves in a bubble of reality, in a merry-go-round ride that we can't get out of until we reconnect with our spirituality. It's not a judgment. We haven't done anything wrong. We've simply forgotten who we are.
Right, right. It's yes, yes. It's a remembering. All of this is, and that's what's so helpful about this, is if you go from a different premise rather than you're a victim, or that you have to go to God or to the divine through someone else or some other path, when you realize that you can go inside and the divine is inside and access it, then all of a sudden you can co-create in a whole different way. And you're seeing these mass meditations and this mass information. Yeah.
Mass meditations have power. Each of us acts like a battery or a cell in a battery. The more cells you have, the more batteries you have, the more power you have. And yes, as you said, God is not outside of ourselves. God is within. In fact, God is part of what we are. We are part of God. God is part of us. So
Right,
we're connecting with our greater selves and our greater ability. And
right,
as you mentioned, co-creation, and that's a very important point, in that what we believe to be true, our dominant thoughts and beliefs pull towards us more of the same. We create more of what we believe to be true.
right,
We believe that the earth is a terrible, dark, oppressive place. That's what we draw towards ourselves from the field of human consciousness, our collective thoughts, and we consolidate it, we solidify it, we construct it. And
right,
so we change our thinking around, and we have to say, today, this is a light-filled day. Today, this is a spiritual day.
mhm,
Today, this is a harmonious day between all aspects of the divine creation. And we begin to draw that towards ourselves and to push that out into the world rather than the negative view of things that we have at the moment. And so
right,
when
right,
we do things, we create a different world, literally
right.
create a different world.
Right. Well, and this is great. We've got Kathy Botkin's here, Rosemary's here, Olivia's here, Elsie's here. Noel and Bob should be here. I don't know where they are. They were to be here earlier. They'll be here. So what I'd love to talk about is this aspect of what's happening now. I mean, this must be a really validating time for you where you I know you were in a trance, so you weren't really aware of what was coming through. Then you read the books and you go, oh no, what do we do? Then you collect this group of people called the Band of Light, with which you are so lucky, really, truly, to or Joseph orchestrated it. However, look at it. Could you talk about the Band of Light
Yeah,
first?
well, the Band of Light is Joseph's term for actually a small core of people. There are only four of us, but at the core of this, there's myself, who of course brought through the information. There's my life partner Jane, who transcribes the books and deals with sending the books out globally and answers queries at times. There's Joseph, who has the sorry. There's Tony.
Joseph's here.
Yeah. Tony has the Sanctuary of Healing, which is a wonderful place, unfortunately closed at the moment because of the restrictions that we have, but a wonderful place where miracles take place and people are cured. And there's David, who is our IT specialist, who puts together the ads that to promote the books, and we put the book covers together and format the books together. So we have within this core group of four all the skills that we need to get out the information. But it's becoming more apparent that Band of Light is a totally appropriate term at the moment, because a Band of Light is what we need to put around the world now. We need to love the world better by putting around it this band of light. And so that's the core of it. We were always meant to come together. The mission has been many years in the making. 4 more years than I've been on the planet, which that's a considerable number of years now. But Joseph and the other guiding influences that work with us, I've known from beyond this life. And they've been with me from birth. I didn't meet them from birth. I met them in my early 20s, but they revealed that they'd been with me in order to do this, in order to
I'm
bring that
sure.
information from birth onwards.
But this must feel, I just wondered, because when this all started happening, it was like, I recognize this as, yes, this is what I came here for.
Yeah.
That, yes, I was here to help as many people wake up to their divinity through the people I helped to launch in marketing. And it was time to just put full throttle. Is that the way you felt also?
Well, to be honest, Kathy, I thought that once I broke through the books, because I worked as a medium for
35 years.
20 plus years before Joseph came through. And so the end of 10 years of trance recovery, I thought, I've done my little bit now. Perhaps I can put my feet up. But the greater plan is not for me to put my feet up. It's for me to make people aware of the existence of the information and to demonstrate a different way of living other than the one that they've been living before.
Right. Perfect. Perfect.
But really, rather than
Oh, no, well, it makes total sense, and it makes total sense that you would not maybe be bringing through that high of a frequency, but that you still probably are being surrounded with angels and other high frequency beings around you that you don't have to go into a trance to work with. Do you feel that? Do you feel?
yes, there is still a clairvoyant link with the guiding influences, but many people have asked us, what does Joseph say about the pandemic? Well, Joseph has already said what he needs to say. In other words, provided a blueprint for moving out of any difficult situation in the books that have come through.
Right.
That he's still around, he still connects to me, but the advice is already there. It's already been given.
Right.
As Joseph says, he's given it twice before. In other words, civilization has come to the brink twice before. He has delivered this information twice before, and he says, I really don't want to deliver it again, so please get things right this time.
Oh, so do you feel that are you optimistic with all of this? Or I mean, I am, and I don't know if I'm delusional, but I'm very optimistic that people are really, it's almost ingenious. Without a world war, we have a common enemy of a virus. And we didn't have to have nuclear weapons or anything, but we created this pause before a reset. So so I can see how you would want to get this information to everyone that's ready.
Yes, yeah. We it is a pause. I'd also describe it as a shot across our bows. I
Uh,
think what happened is that we've gone so far down the material road that we've had to be pulled up, and we've been given this time to think and to reason things out, and to say to ourselves, this is not the way to proceed. If we proceed much further down this particular materialistic path, there may be other challenges that will be greater than this one and that will completely wipe us out. So we need to do things in a completely different way. And so it's an opportunity to do that. I'm optimistic if we are spiritual enough to ignore negativity and the fear and the panic that's been created at this time.
right, right,
For the virus, we have fear and panic stalking the world, and we are stoking those fears and those panics with our thoughts daily, making them more powerful. And unfortunately, our media news systems are delivering only negativity.
right,
Only negativity.
right,
So
right,
they are terrifying the populace, and they are consolidating what is happening to us. And we have to put out a light front, a different front, and to
right,
say, yes, this is happening. We're not denying this, but there is a way through this. There is a way to transform this. There is a way to energize the situation positively, spiritually, and dissipate it, and then learn from the lesson.
right, right. Well, I think what's interesting is it's almost like there's three different groups of people. The people that saw it coming and realized that this is what, um, like, we better get into gear. This is what we came here for. Then you got these people that are waking up, that are starting, they're a lot of the conspiracy followers, where they're trying to figure out, but they're still in polarity because they want to fight. You know, it's still that fight. And then you got the sheeple that are the sleepers, that they took the red, they took the blue pill, they took whatever pill, and they're not waking up. Do you feel that there's enough of the first two group, the, you know, the one third, the two thirds that can shift it without the 1/3? Because that 1/3, I just don't know if they're watching their news 24/7. I don't even have a television on here. I don't have.
That's good.
Yeah, but I do have computers, so I can still get all the bad news I want if I want, and I can still. I'm being drowned in conspiracy stuff and it's just horrible what man has done to man. Horrible. So I can't even. That's not my job. So back to the question: do you feel like there's enough of the 2/3? If the 1/3 of people realize, oh, this is what we came here for. The second is waking up, but they might be in the conspiracy land, and then the third is sleepers.
Yeah.
They're sound asleep.
You see, from my point of view, from Joseph's point of view, the conspiracies are irrelevant. It's the situation that needs to change. And we operate mostly from our head minds, from up here, from this darned computer we have that gives us so much trouble. It's fight or flight, you know.
Right.
Do we run away? Do we stand and fight? And that's about all it presents to us in terms of fears and panics all the time. Those that are going to change this world will be coming from the heart center, from the heart. We'll spend some time each day in meditation, quiet meditation, pushing aside the panic and the fear, and moving their consciousness down from the head into the heart center.
Yeah.
In the heart center, they will find that they connect to the divine, they connect to their greater self, and they connect to a limitless supply of light energy.
That's right.
Which they can pull out from their heart center and channel direct into the world to literally illuminate situations that need light and illumination. Now, Joseph has said often that one person working for the light has more power than 1,000 people who are working for darkness. So, yes, I don't believe that the information would have been brought at this time if there was no time left. The fact that it's been brought through, the fact that Joseph is encouraging us to work in this way, means that there is not only hope, but there is a way through this. But it does require us to think from a different place, to think from the heart, and not to say, what are you doing about the government? What are you doing about the media? It's not up to anyone else. It's up to each of us. And each of us is equally powerful because each of us is equal to the other. Each of us is equally powerful because we have an equal connection to the God within. And each of us, whether we're in a little house somewhere, whether we're on an island somewhere, or on a road somewhere driving, we are each capable at any time of giving out that light and that love unconditionally, unconditionally, to change the world.
And actually, I mean, if this is a hologram and we are each creating an impact on the global consciousness hologram, that this is the time to really participate in knowing your power and exercising it without fear. And see that I think that's the first layer has to come off of the fear. I want you to know that a couple of people have said there's a little bit of feedback on your end, and I don't think we can do anything about it. But Elliot Robertson says yes. Okay, the Elliot or Trish DeBrito Young says, right, it's hard. I keep telling myself back to meditation. Go do your thing. Yes, yes. And then Elliot says, I have never been in my heart so much. I'm in love with life these days and have compassion.
That is wonderful.
Isn't that wonderful? So, and Noelle said she doesn't know why they are on. She wanted to ask Joseph about Atlantis.
Right.
Could you talk a little bit about what Joseph said about it?
Yes, he said he was a citizen of Atlantis originally, but again, he said that that's not relevant. He said, I've lived many lives. I've been male, I've been female, I've been a soldier, I've been a priest, I've done all sorts of things. And each life was relevant in that it taught me something about myself, about my God. Now, he says that Atlantis was a place that had technology that eventually overwhelmed it, that they made mistakes. As to when that was, I don't know. He once showed me a vision of beautiful buildings against the purple sky, and he said he lived there, and he loved the place. He said that we had wonderful healing capabilities there. We would sit around people who were sick. We would place them in the center of the building. We would sit around them, and we would see their illnesses dissipating because we would put into them a greater vision of health than they had with their sickness. We would heal people that way. He said that they kept a lot of their technology away from the rest of the world because little knowledge is a dangerous thing, and it wasn't thought that the rest of the world was ready for that type of technology. But he says, as he said about dinosaurs, he said, for example, don't expect me to talk about dinosaurs. It's not relevant. And even though he was at one time, isn't now, of course, was at one time a citizen of Atlantis, the important thing about the books is to strip all that away. Atlantis, not relevant. Dinosaurs, not relevant. What is relevant? What is relevant is that we're in trouble, that we've forgotten that we're spirits, that we're angelic, that we know how to put things right, and we have to work to put things right.
That's
So
super.
very succinct message that he's given. He gave us some little background, but it's not important. What's important is that the situation we find ourselves in and how we deal with it to get out of it.
Right. Oh, it's perfect. Okay. So we got quite a few comments all of a sudden. Elsie Ritzenheim said it's our creative essence, perhaps, coming from the light.
Is our creative essence coming from the light?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Coming from the light.
We are creators. As the angelic people that we really are, we're creators. We create worlds. We create universes.
Yes.
We are part of God sent forth to experience, to create, to take that experience back to the Godhead, to enrich and enlarge the Godhead. That's what we are. So the light is a tool. It is an energy that we, pressing against it as the spirits we really are, can mold, shape, and send out and create with and construct things with. But it is a positive creation. It's a bliss creation. It's an uplifting creation. And it's what's needed to offset the negativity of our world and to bring energy into this world that doesn't come from the field of human consciousness. You see, we have this collective and we all contribute to it, and it's running out of energy because it's negative. All the time, if you imagine how many people each day of their lives think negative thoughts, put into action negative things, and all that creative ability, because we're still spirits, go into the field of human consciousness. Now, the field of human consciousness is sentient because it's part of us, it's part of our greater selves. So the field of human consciousness wants to maintain itself as it is, as in its present negative form. But in doing so, it draws on our head-mind energies and is running out of those energies. What we have to do is bring in energy from beyond this particular realm of consciousness, which comes from the heart, which comes from the greater universe, which comes from the divine within, and to recharge this world and to re-educate the field of human consciousness in a positive, spiritual way. Then everything changes. The world goes back to the state it was in before we put things wrong at the time of the fall.
Wow. Well, I'm getting some comments here. We got Karen and Barb. Thank you guys for coming. Karen says we are light and light we shall remain. Natalie's here and she's unhappy that I think she's unhappy that I talked about the conspiracy theorists. And I apologize if you took it that way. I just think that that's not the my job. My job is to help as many people wake up to their divinity as possible. And so, so I apologize if you were insulted about that. But But anyway, so let's talk a little bit about your meditations that you're doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This came out of you wanting to share more about the books, correct?
Well, not really. It came out because of the present situation. It became apparent to me very, very quickly, because I was inspired, that the light sending that Joe's been talking about for so long in his books, we
Right,
have an excellent opportunity to do that and to make a difference. And I wanted to counter the negativity that's going on at the moment, because the negativity, the fear, the panic will just drag us down and down and down and
right,
become far more dangerous than the virus. And will also instill in the virus, because the virus is sentient, will sort of brand the virus as a deadly virus for all. In
right,
other words, we're consolidating our view of the virus as being this deadly, world-threatening illness that will wipe us all out. And it became apparent that very quickly we had to do something. We had to join together, because we have more power, as we've said, when we join together at certain times, to connect with each other in love around the world, to connect with Joseph and his son, because they said, yes, of course, we'll join with you. That's what we've been wanting to do for so long.
yeah,
And to direct light unconditionally into the world. Now, the reason it needs to be unconditional is because all of us, me, you, everybody, we have preconceived ideas about things. So when we send light out, if it's coming from the head mind as well, we're saying, well, I'd like to heal this situation, but not that situation.
right, right,
I want to send love to this politician, but not that politician. I like this person, I don't like that person. What light does is provide literally illumination, so that the pilot light within people, that spark, that divine spark, can grow. It doesn't invade them, it doesn't coerce them, it cocoons them with itself, with light, so that they are given an opportunity, if they so wish, free will,
right,
to examine what they are doing and to find a better way.
right,
To
right,
look at their actions thus far and say, these actions have been detrimental to humankind. I now see that, and so I'm going to work in a different way to put that right and to make sure that my actions in the future are based in spirituality and come from a spiritual perspective. So when we send light unconditionally from our heart minds, we connect with our greater selves. And our greater selves don't have the biases and prejudices that we all have as human beings. And so that light has more power, because it can go out and does go out to wherever light is needed most
right,
to affect and transform situations. So we don't judge, we don't put conditions on light. We simply acknowledge that we are spirits, that we are angels, that we are part of each other. We acknowledge that the world needs healing. We acknowledge that challenges need resolving. We acknowledge that attitudes need changing. But we don't dictate as to how that happens. We simply allow ourselves to be transmitters of the light, so that the
right.
light can do its work for us.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Do you feel then these meditations, they're short, right? They're 15 minutes,
Yes,
15 minutes. And
yes,
so and it is on your website. I've been putting your website up, which is the josephcommunications.co.uk. And
yeah.
I'll put it also in the comments, and as so people can go and sign up and make sure that they put on their calendars and they can figure out the time differences. but but I'm sure that even if you saw the recording of it, that it would be quite powerful for your day, no matter what time of day.
Yes,
It,
we have two websites. We have the josephcommunications.uk, and
uh,
we have the josephcommunications.com for
oh,
the US. We also have a YouTube channel, the Joseph Communications, where we have videos and examining aspects of the Joseph Communications book. And we post daily Facebook quotes from the book, videos and texts on Joseph Communications and also on my personal Facebook page, Michael G. Reccia.
Yeah.
There are lots of ways to get in touch with us and to keep connected.
Okay. Well, I'll put the other one. I went to the UK one. Here we go. Nope, it doesn't. It's still having trouble with the. So, so as far as oh yeah, it's still doing something strange, isn't it? Oh well, technology. There we go. Nope, we lost the M. I don't know why this is doing that today, but anyway, how long will you be doing these meditations? Do you feel like you'll do them for months or continue for a long time?
We will certainly do them for as long as the present crisis is with us, but I see no reason why they shouldn't continue indefinitely. They are the seat meditation and groups like this, not just our group, but groups who are meditating around the world, are the true seats of power because they are the seats of spiritual power. And spiritual power is what is needed. What is worrying is that people may go back to their old way of life once the current challenges are gone. We can't do that. We can't return to the blinkered view that we had before this challenge came to us. We need to acknowledge that spiritual aspect of ourselves and to make sure that all our approaches to life from now on have a spiritual perspective. We need to make friends again with who we are.
Right, right.
So that's what I am. You know, I'm not going to die. I'm moving through this landscape in order to learn and to experience. I've got great power as a spirit, great power for good. How can I keep that to myself any longer?
Right.
I've got to send it out to help everyone across the world and to help all forms of life across the world and the planet itself to heal, because the planet's a spirit as well, of course. The spirit is the planet is alive as a spirit. The planet responds to us. The animal kingdom responds to us, but we have to treat all life in the right way from a spiritual perspective.
So I wanted to ask, I'm looking at some of the things that you sent me that are wonderful. Could you talk about closing the chakras afterwards and why this is important?
Yes, yes, it very often comes up, this, Kathy, in that when we work spiritually, our principal energy centers open to allow in information from higher vibrations and to allow out that light that we are generating. But if we don't close the chakras when we come out of our meditations, we remain open. We remain open to people's thoughts from across the road. We remain open to people's thoughts from across the world. Now, a lot of people say, no, you mustn't close the chakras. And my argument against that, and also Joseph's argument against that, is if the chakras were not supposed to be closed, why is there a mechanism that allows them to close? There is a mechanism that allows them to open and to close. Now, they open so that we can connect with people spiritually and can deliver light. We can absorb and understand higher vibrational communication. But at other times, for example, you wouldn't go to bed and leave your front door open. So
No.
if you wander in, could wander in. That's the equivalent of what we do when we're not working spiritually. So we recommend that the end of the meditation period that the chakras are closed, the principal chakras are closed. If you don't know how to do it, it's simply a matter of using the divine routine to close them for you and to spend a couple of minutes doing that when you feel when they're closed, and then you can get on with your day the next time that you meditate.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. So I have another question for you that's not on the list, but we've talked about time quite a bit. That Joseph is, as well, the Joseph group is like a group of multiple souls. So he may, well, the one being may have been here multiple times, but there's a whole group. And are they are they out of time and space? I don't know what dimension they're from, but are they out of time and space? And then how did he know about time from our perspective? Like we're in the times that he was talking about.
Yeah.
That we need to change our ways. He could have been from the future, come back. That's what a lot of the people that have talked about this time and about the opportunities for change have been people from the future came back. But does he talk about time
He does
much?
talk about time in one of his books, but he is non-corporeal. The soul group is completely non-corporeal. The soul group comprises of millions of souls who are concerned for our future, unless we change things, unless we remember who we are. And so they exist in an elevated sphere of consciousness beyond this one. But it's one of the cleansing spheres, as Joseph describes them, that take us from here, from earthly life, back out into infinity, and
Right.
past the effects of the fall, and out into reconnection with the rest of the angelic host. They needn't be here. They have earned the right to go through that hatch, as it were, and back out into infinity.
I see.
But because they are connected to humankind, because they are a part of humankind, being a part of humankind, there is a pull towards us and a sadness because of our predicament, and they will not leave until every last one of us has returned to our angelic identity.
Wow. Wow.
Joseph moved on.
Almost 8 billion people. They're
Yeah,
gonna, oh wow.
yeah,
That's
yes.
a big
Joseph could have moved on a long time ago. The souls that are with him could have moved on a long time ago. But in conscience, they cannot leave us to a negative fate. They love us too much. And so there is this helping hand coming down from the soul group, and it will remain there until it has been grasped by the very last soul that needs to get out of this predicament we're in, and we all go back into infinity and then start creating again with the angelic beings that we really are.
Wow. Well, that will be a wonderful thing to see. My goodness. And it's hard to even imagine that because of the contrasts we have here. We're just flooded with the contrast. So as far as the way you're looking at all of this, if you've done all your books, the next steps for you is to get the books out. How can we help you get the messages? I know these meditations are going to help a lot of people, and you do have Vimeo. I watched some of your Vimeo presentations, and they're delightful little snippets. They anybody can consume those short conversations. Do you have a way that we could help?
Well, I must say at this point that, first of all, we don't take any monies personally for these books.
Right.
We never have. We never will. We charge for the books because, of course, we have to have them printed.
Right.
We have to send them out there. And so we direct people to our websites where they can have a look at what each book is about.
Right.
We would advise that people become quiet and think, which book is for me? Which book is right for me to start with? And then to try that book. And again, the funds from purchasing that book will actually go into producing more books so that more souls can become aware. I must say that we are not a religion. We are not a cult. We are not forcing anybody to take on this information. Our job is to get those books through somebody's door.
Right, I understand. And the energy just holding the books is remarkable. I mean, you can really, any of us that are sensitive. Rosemary's asking, are the books available in other languages, specifically Spanish?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. But we have them as Spanish audiobooks. We have them as Spanish ebooks, and a number of the paperbacks are also available. Yeah.
Okay.
Details are on our website.
Wonderful. Yeah. So I put the josephcommunications.com app out, and I'm sorry I had the more difficult one up earlier, but here we go. And I highly recommend that you check out the website. I know we're having a little bit of audio issues, so there you can hear Michael loud and clear and smooth, and get the frequency, because this is a frequency activation, basically. Rosemary said, yippee. This is an activation, what we're talking about. And we're so fortunate to have Michael here and the Band of Light. The work that they do is heartfelt and selfless. It's really a gift to humanity. And I hope all of you will take this opportunity while you have a little extra time, maybe not watch television and maybe not get stuck on another video that may not serve you, and pick up a book or read a book on Kindle and see a different perspective of your divinity at work and how it can be used to make this place heaven on earth like it was intended, correct?
Yes, and also, even if you don't read the books, please join us for the meditations. The more like-minded souls we have, the more powerful the light that we bring into the world. So if you could please share the information that's on our website about the day and our Facebook pages with like-minded souls and with groups, that would be wonderful. And also, it gives souls at this time a point during the week, or points during the week, when they are not alone. Well, they may be locked up physically, but they're not locked in spiritually. And
Right.
they connect with thousands of souls around the world, and love there for them, and that upliftment there for them. And that's hugely important.
This is so amazing because it's such a precious time. I have actually been so busy with helping people get their businesses online, and because as soon as this happened, you couldn't procrastinate anymore.
Yeah.
You had, it's like, oh, someday I'll do that. It's like, nope, got to do it right now. So in fact, on Easter, I was contemplating what would that be like to be able to say what I did during this pause. Let's see. It looks like Bob and Noel. I put others up, never posted. I don't know. I don't have a way to check it. So somehow their questions that they had for you are not showing up, and I have no idea. Technology is interesting, isn't it?
It's frightening. It's frightening. We have gremlins. I think the fact that we have gremlins tonight shows the amount of negativity that there is about in the world. And as we've said earlier, the consciousness, the field of human consciousness, doesn't want to change. And any way that we can be stopped from completing the mission that we're supposed to complete will be tried. So I'm not surprised that we're having audio problems tonight. You know,
Well, I'm sorry about it because I appreciate you so much, and we can do this again,
that would be great.
and I'd be happy to do that. I want to leave this on a very positive note, because I do see this as a new beginning. I do see this as a wake-up call. I'm in the same position as everybody else of how it's affecting me. I'm working from home. I may not be able to keep my office offsite. I mean, there's all sorts of things that all of us are being affected by, but it's a time to really see what is important. What
Yes.
makes your heart sing? What is it that you do to serve others, and how you best can be that light? And I want to thank you so much, Michael, for everything you and the Band of Light do to share this information. It's so pertinent, and it's so easy to absorb. There's not a lot of difficulty in understanding. Some of the other channeled works, like the Book of One, the Law of One, is almost cryptic. The information that was channeled in is a puzzle like, and it's whereas the Joseph Chronicles, all of it is so easy to read and easy to understand. It's very available.
As Joseph said, why would God make things complex? The truth is simple. The truth is simple. If it's complex, then it appeals to the head mind. If it's simple, it comes from the heart mind. And all complexity has landed us in the current situations we're in. We make things so hugely complicated, where one of the benefits of this time is that it is getting us back, as you say, to a simpler time, to a more peaceful time, to a time where we have time to slowly contemplate and understand things from the heart. So there's a great benefit there as well.
Well, what if the game that we are playing could change instead of win-lose to win-win?
Absolutely.
That right? So this is a chance for reset. This is the pause button, and then right next to it's a reset button. And if we choose, which we all are sovereign beings, if we choose, then we have an opportunity to expand back into a whole nother realm of living together in peace and harmony. And it's almost like a renaissance. That's the way I've been shown, is that we all have this huge potential to have gifts to share with the world, and we kind of got off course. This is a chance to get back to and share, just like in the Renaissance, people shared their creative abilities with art and music and writing and so many levels. And they had patrons. Well, we can be our own patrons.
Yes, we can light the way and we can make things better because we are love. That's what we are. We're light, we're love. That's what we need to acknowledge in the other and in the world. Once we do that, things even out, things harmonize, and we raise the vibration of this planet, we raise a new vibration, and then the bliss that awaits us is beyond comprehension at this time. But it
Right.
doesn't, I assure you.
Right. And I like the idea of it's beyond comprehension, because I think when you tap into that, that's where the good stuff is.
Yeah,
Well, lots of people are saying thank you. Olivia said thank you. Rosemary said thank you. Thank you both for expanding the light and gifting us with ways to continue to spread it. Blessings.
thank you.
So,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you all. So, Michael, thank you again. It's the Joseph Communication.com. And we also have that's you. We also have the Band of Light World Meditation Days, which are Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Yeah, with UK and US times on there, wherever you are in the world, there's at least one of those sessions per day that you can please join in with us. And of course, the next day's tomorrow.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. And today's Tuesday, so there's one tomorrow. So you can start as early as tomorrow. And again, there are recordings, so you can catch up if you feel like you want to catch up to when they first started. But this could be the anchor in the storm for so many people that are going through all of these changes and not sure how to get grounded in this new reality. This could be the ticket that really helps them. So what a gift. Thank you, Michael. And thank you so much for everything you've done.
Well, as we say, we're all in this together. And
Yeah.
every person that joins in with the meditation, every person makes a difference. And that's a wonderful thing to think of at the end of the day. Today, spiritually, I made a difference. So thank you to everyone that joined.
Yes, well, and thank you everyone for coming here. And if this has helped you and you think it might help others, please share this recording. And I guess we're, again, go to thejosephcommunications.com or find Michael on Facebook, or look for the Band of Light World Meditation Days. There's also a Facebook group for that, which I'm in. And I just, again, this is the time we all came here for. This is why there's so many people on the earth right now. This is a chance to really, really turn the ship and make this a blessing for all, not just for a few.
Absolutely, for everyone and for everything. Yeah.
Yes.
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 Life. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Okay,
you.
gotta sign off. Thank you.
God bless. Love
Yes. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.